Morning. Top of the morning to ya. Hey, I thought about doing this video in the stew last night, but I said, good morning, good energy. I hope y'all having a great day. I feel good. I said I want to do this in the car, and I actually want to give y'all a little car snippet. Another snippet because y'all been rocking with me. Make sure y'all check out Foots and Coles, Foots times Coles. Just a little groove to start your day real quick, man. Come on now.
We take you a nice job.
Come on now. Make a smoothie. Little orange juice, some muffin, some chill. Vitamin C. Yeah. Is it good for you? Then it's good for me. Through and through. In the morning with your orange juice. Is it good for me? Then it's good for you. Yes, sir. We talking. Hey, look, we talking DBs today. There's only one person who can drive and read their notes. That's Foots. All right, y'all. I just wanted to give y'all that little snippet. Foots Time Coles, FOOTSX. That's my music page on YouTube, on IG, all of that, and then Foots the King on IG and all that type of stuff. Good morning. The DB conversation is very, very interesting. Like I said, I thought about doing this video in the house, but I said, nah, let me do it in the car because you guys asked for the car videos. I see the comments, I read the comments. You guys want the car videos back, so I'm gonna try to do more of those. But I do like doing them in the house. I'm gonna adhere and listen to the people. The DB conversation is very interesting because outside of DaRon Bland and Diggs, who are you married to long term? Deshaun Wright, I mean, like him, but just really didn't pan out, and that's okay. Kelvin Joseph has been a bust for where he's been drafted. We got to call a spade a spade. He's been a bust for where he has been drafted. Anthony Brown has kind of like overachieved, but he's still Anthony Brown. He has limitations, and obviously, he's not in your long-term plans. And then there's DaRon Bland. Then there's Jordan Lewis, who is an interesting one because he was injured last year, but I think that he could possibly do some good things this year. We just got to wait and see how he comes back from injury and what role the Cowboys want to play him. And then the Stephon Gilmore signing, which kind of put you over the top, right? And I expect that to be a great signing, but it's only, I think it's 1 or 2 years, but I think it was 1 year. You guys help me out there. Even if it's 2 years, it's not like it's a long-term deal. You're not married to Gilmore for a long-term situation. So I believe it was in 1 year. Anyway, you guys help me out. It's early in the morning. I'm playing music. I'm driving. The whole night. I have my rankings, and I'm ready to talk about them. So this team could definitely take a corner high, and it will be justified because what needs to happen is we have to realize the hierarchy of positional value in the draft. The hierarchy is this: left tackle, QB, DN, corner. Like, that's tier 1 when it comes to guys who you could justify taking in the first round and it makes sense. Left tackle, DN, quarterback, corner. Those positions are king because those are the hardest positions to find, and those positions play the toughest role on an NFL roster. They just do. Everything else you can hit gems in different rounds and stuff like that, but those are the positions historically that teams value the highest. And if a corner is staring at you at 26 and it's a guy who you have a true first-round grade on and it makes sense, then you quite possibly draft him. Now, when you guys hear my honorable mentions, you guys are going to say, Foots, there's no way. Oh, there's a way. Deonte Banks is an honorable mention. That's how I got these corners stacked, and it's such a deep class. Banks is and when we're talking top 5, he's an honorable mention. Keely Ringo is an honorable mention. DJ Turner is an honorable mention, and so is Clark Phillips. The size issues with Clark. I really like Clark Phillips a lot. Utah corner. He's 5'8", and that sucks for him. But he's a really, really good player. All right, guys. I want to get into my cornerback rankings. This is going to be interesting because it's not going to be what everybody else has. But you guys know me. You guys know that I do the work. And draft community, I'm going to tell y'all something about draft community. They can tell when you're faking the work. They can tell when you're not doing the work. They can tell when you're not watching the film because it just won't make sense. If you have an opinion on somebody, you have to stand by it. And that's exactly what I did. So, for me, let's go to my rankings real quick. So, I actually have the South Carolina corners as 1. Some people have actually moved Darius Rush over Cam Smith. I just have them as 1. They're both South Carolina corners that I think are going to be really good in the league, and I think that they could both come in and help this team. With Cam Smith, I mean, he only gave up 200 yards last year. He's a 4-star, very physical, 6 PBUs last year. And Darius Rush, I think his upside is possibly better than what he was able to do with the Senior Bowl. I think the Senior Bowl got him drafted, Darius Rush. So those two guys are together. My number 4 corner, though, I battled with this for a long time, and it's Emmanuel Forbes. He said, and with that 170 frame, he's come out and said that if you pass on me, you're making a big mistake. And I had to ask myself, Foots, look at his play style, look at his play aggression. You're not asking him to be a receiver and take punishment. You're asking him to tackle occasionally, which he actually does tackle very well on film. You're asking him to cover. The 170 does scare me, but it doesn't scare me enough that when I watch him in off man, he's sticky. When I watch him in man, he's sticky. He doesn't get pushed around, so he doesn't play 170. Just like there are big guys who don't play their size, Emmanuel Forbes doesn't play small, so I got to give him that. 6 interceptions last year. 6 interceptions total, 3 this year. He's a magnet for the ball. He can play. The thing is, he's scheme efficient, so he can play off man. He can play in press, and it just makes a lot of sense. Forbes is somebody that if he's there at 26, I would have a hard time passing on Forbes. I don't know if he'll be there at 26, but he is a really, really good corner. He can play on the edge and he can play inside. That's one of the things that I like. The hips are really good. I like Emmanuel Forbes over a lot of these guys because even though he's not as big, I think that his frame, he'll grow, but he'll never be like a big corner. But sometimes stuff like that doesn't matter. I mean, you look at Asante Samuel Jr., Dallas made a big mistake in passing on Asante Samuel Jr. A huge mistake in passing on Jr. So I like Emmanuel Forbes at my 4th spot. All right, let's get to kind of the one who I think that people aren't going to be happy with. And that is me having Devon Witherspoon at 3. At 2. No, at 3. So that's my 4. At 3, Devon Witherspoon. Devon Witherspoon didn't participate in the combine. He hasn't ran, or if he did, it was at his pro day. I don't know his numbers. But on film, you don't see a fast player. And that's why I say guys have to go to the combine and compete, especially at stopwatch positions. Like, Deonte Banks helped himself at the combine. He's a local kid, Maryland kid. He helped himself tremendously. Like, there are people who probably watch this video like, Fuss, why isn't he in your top 5? What are you doing? But I do like Witherspoon's physicalness. I like his grit. But to me, with him not competing, and he's already not like a super, super fast guy, he gets kind of grabby in coverage. And I just don't know his long speed and the physique. Like, my 2 and my 1, their physiques are first round graded, and they knocked the combine out the park. With me not knowing certain things about Witherspoon, now mind you, he's very sticky in coverage, a freaking dog as a tackler. But I just don't know how fast he is, and I just have this other player rated a little bit higher. Number 2 is Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter Jr. absolutely killed the combine. He uses his length in a certain way. He didn't give up a touchdown last year. him against Marvin Harrison Jr. is this tape that sold me on Joey Porter Jr. He is, he's a corner's corner. His frame, he'll get bigger. His dad's bigger. He'll continue to grow. But he's a willing tackler, even at that skinny, linky frame. Like, he tackles, man. He's physical. He did it against SEC competition. The only player that I really saw give him, like, issues at times was Charlie Jones. You guys know how I feel about Charlie Jones. So, that's my 2. And then my 1 is Christian Gonzalez. I just think that, you know, what he was able to do at Oregon this year, he's a dog in zone. He's a dog in man. Just the most technically sound corner in this year's draft. He's big. When you saw him go through drill work at the combine, he's just freaking amazing. You saw him play against Georgia this year. He didn't look lost out there against big competition. He didn't look lost. He's able to stay square. His technique is by far the reason why he's the #1 corner. Like, and I like Porter's technique, but you can see at times Porter just knows he's a longer athlete than a lot of guys, so that gets him away. Nah, with Gonzalez, he's running the routes for you. He's that type of athlete. You know, I don't see him getting out the top 10 because, again, you talk about the tiers of what teams need. It just makes sense. An interesting guy that I had in my honorable mentions that I think has first-round ability, but the technique, and it's weird because he's at a big school that coaches these guys up, is Ringo. Keely Ringo can play, man, but the measurables were kind of funky. He ran a great 40, but he didn't jump high. So it's like, how athletic is he? And then sometimes that shows up on film when he's grabby. You know, he doesn't trust the technique. Marvin Harrison Jr. absolutely barbecued Ringo. So it's things like that make me kind of just wonder and question. So anyway, it's your boy Foots. Those are my rankings. I hope you guys enjoy them. Cornerback rankings. Cornerback is definitely in play. Just because you traded for Stephon Gilmore doesn't mean much. Go like, go share, go subscribe, go follow. It's your boy Foots. Share this video around. Peace. Hey, have a good day. Have a great morning. Peace.